Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Parker. Hope everyone is doing well today, and I am so excited to go and give you guys an updated settings video. I believe that the last settings video that I went and made was a couple months ago, so especially in like this update, there's been a lot of new setting changes, especially for the BR, so I thought I might as well kind of go over everything for what my current settings is like. I did go and shift around a couple things with my HUD and kind of went and changed it to what the new season is currently like right now for season 2 of COD Mobile. If you guys like this video, it would be awesome if you could go and give it a like, as well as if you guys are new, be sure to go and subscribe. But we might as well go hop into the settings here and start off with my whole HUD layout. So like I said, there's a couple changes that I went and made that's kind of geared towards the new update here. So one of the bigger ones for me personally has been the grenade system. So the grenades loadout that I have, absolutely perfect for my screen here. I kind of have like my webcam covering it up a little bit, but you guys can kind of go and see the scale and the transparency with it going on. I think that this is the perfect spot for me to go and do it, because it doesn't really go and affect me, especially if I'm in a gunfight. I could just go and use my left thumb to go and click on it, and then use it furthermore to go and click on what type of lethal or tactical I want to be able to go and throw at the enemy's way. And for you guys that don't know, like the grenade distance, the distance that you're able to go and toss out things like that now, it's insane. I think the gameplay that I went and uploaded on my YouTube channel here like yesterday definitely highlights that. But yeah, I thought that was one of the coolest features that COD Mobile went and added in for the season, but that's a big one. So I would definitely try to go and prioritize using lethals and tacticals a lot more in your gameplay, and then kind of like going for more of like a personal preference for me, I did go and enlarge and then make the transparency all the way up when it comes to exiting a vehicle. I don't know why, but like sometimes exiting a vehicle doesn't work upon going and tapping it for the first time, and who knows if that's just COD Mobile not being able to go and register the touch, or maybe you have to have your thing all the way up to go and be able to go and exit vehicles the way that you want. But I made sure that yes, if I want to go and exit a vehicle, it's right there, right in the middle of my screen, so I'm able to go and do so. And then you guys can kind of see everything else here. Now, for you guys that don't know, I do use air triggers. So my left air trigger, and this is also built into my phone, by the way, like there's no way I could go and remove these because they're just built into my phone. The left air trigger is for my ADSing, which you could see kind of like down below there in the bottom left of my webcam. Usually, because I used to go and play Four Fingers, I would go and have the air trigger kind of on the top of my phone. Like my air trigger is right here. I used to have it like be mapped right here on my screen, so it just kind of like worked out for me that the air trigger was like just right there. So it's like it wasn't that big of an inconvenience for me. But if you want, you could go and have a similar layout like what I did in the past. If you don't have air triggers on your phone, just kind of put that up in the top left hand corner. And then for my prone button, or my drop shot button, it's the other trigger. And then I also used to have that kind of in the top right hand corner of my screen. So you can kind of go and adapt that to your personal liking if you do or don't have air triggers. But yeah, like shooting button, kind of bottom right hand corner there. My prone, right underneath the mini map, and then my jump, I go and press that just in range with my right thumb there, which is really easy to go and use if I want to go and use my specialist, just once again right there too, all kind of in reach with my thumb, and it's perfect. Usually when I go and select different weapons, I go and use that primarily with my right thumb, but sometimes for like heals, like popping adrenalines or going inside my backpack, I'll go and use my left thumb. So that all kind of just goes and works out for me. But I think that's going to be pretty much about it for the whole layout of my HUD. Now, if we go into the basics section, not really anything has changed from the previous update video that I went and made. Just kind of a lot of the same stuff here going on. Aim assist is very, very important to go and have, in my opinion, if you want to be able to go and have that latch on effect to certain enemies. Tap the ADS, display left fire button. I guess that doesn't really matter, but y'all can go and copy as is. Gyroscope. I still have not yet went and experimented around with this. I still am kind of on the fence if I do want to be able to go and enable that, but just only from like a sniping perspective. So who knows, maybe next update video that I go and do, that might be different there. Camera FOV all the way up at 75. And then vest visibility. You always want to go and make sure that you have others visible. This is so important. Like, you don't want to have all invisible. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. It could be kind of cool to go and see your enemies just in his, like, raw state of, like, his character. But I think it's so important, especially in gunfights, to know, okay, you know what? This guy has a level 3 vest. Maybe I should go and approach this gunfight differently than compared to what appears to be someone with no vest whatsoever. And then you're going to go and complain like, oh my god, I put all these shots in this person. Why didn't he go and die? Well, you had it all visible and like or all invisible, I should say. And you just had no idea that, you know, he was rocking a level 3 vest there. So yeah, definitely don't do all invisible, and I'm fine with having others visible or all visible. But then moving on, audio graphic settings low is what I go and have it on for the graphic quality. Like it says, reduce to improve performance, prevent overheating, or conserve power. It is a good idea to go and always have it on low. I know that sometimes people complain about like the quality not being the greatest, but I guess it's kind of the price that you have to pay in order to go and get better performance in game. And definitely would recommend a frame rate being at max just to prevent any type of stuttering mid gunfight. I would absolutely hate to go and play on like a low frame rate and just not be able to go and get the best performance in a gunfight there. So definitely would recommend you to go and set that all the way up to max if your device is able to go and do so. But yeah, BR mode graphic style, I have that on dynamic. If I was to go and put it to something like medium, I would go and have it on dynamic, because that, like, my phone still does perform as good if I was to go and set it to that. But dynamic, I kind of like the brighter colors. I feel like people are able to go and pop up a lot more than something like realistic and standard. Definitely would go and recommend that. But audio, y'all could just kind of go and see that for yourself. I have everything on 100. Now going over to sensitivity BR, rotation mode fixed, sensitivity switch, gradually switch while ADSing. That is definitely a thing I would go and recommend. And then y'all could go and see all my other stuff from here as well. My camera sensitivity for everything. This is pretty dialed in here. I like the setup of everything that I have going on. Especially with the sniper scope sensitivity, I feel like that's really important. And then firing sensitivity, once again, all dialed in. I like it a lot. If there is one thing that I might go and change in the future, it would probably go and be the sniper scope sensitivity. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like where it's at right now, but I could kind of go either way. Like, when it comes to sensitivity stuff, I feel like that's always something that you could go and improve and kind of work on and just kind of dial it in to your own personal liking. It's not like your sensitivity should always just be a one-time thing. Like, yeah, I'm going to go and input all this stuff and I'm not going to go and change it after that. This should always be something that you're constantly working on and just trying to go and perfect. And then gyroscope, I don't use gyroscope at all. Like I said, this might be a thing that I go and use in the future here, but right now I do not. Okay, BR settings. The vehicle settings, this is kind of what I have. This is what personally goes and works out for me, is layout A. Tank control was something new that I just went and realized. I'm going to go and put this on layout B for right now. I would go and recommend layout B. Like I said, this could be matched to your own personal liking, but when going and controlling a tank, I feel like it is so much easier to go and do it with layout B, just due to the mobility of the tank and just the controls feel so much smoother. But then again, I feel like that could kind of be personal preference there. For vehicle camera, definitely would recommend follow there. I feel like that's really helpful in just being able to go and know kind of where you're traveling at all times. Vehicle HP, always let that be known. Automatic obstacle avoidance. I would not recommend going and doing and having the automatic one on. I would just do manual, because I feel like sometimes that does mess up your driving, and it kind of auto corrects at certain times where it shouldn't go and do that. But like I said, it's kind of personal preference. And then tank guideline, I'm going to go and disable that, because I feel like that information that it kind of gives you is not only distracting, but a little bit like just not really useful at all, I guess. But going into loot setting, this is something that I'm really big on. So feel free to go and copy everything that you go and see here. Lethals, tacticals, you could probably go and amp this up to what your personal liking is. Like, you could go and have more grenades if you want. But just know that that will go and take up space in your inventory there if you decide to go and enable more grenades. I did go and mention that grenades and other types of things like Nova Gas, cluster grenades are really useful here this season. So, like, I might as well, even with the cluster grenade, go and enable that to one. All those types of features are really important. And since you do have limited space in your backpack, you do have to select the ones that you feel like will go and help benefit your gameplay. So if you're more of like an aggressive player and you like to go and do more damage to an enemy rather than go and suppress them with something like a concussion or a flashbang, you could decide to go more up on grenades than something like a smoke grenade. So I think realistically for my playstyle, I would rather prefer stuff like that. So I'm going to go and kind of disable the smoke grenade section, maybe go and enable more grenades to be picked up here, flash bang grenade, deselect that, and then prefer something like a cluster grenade more, and just kind of making it a better replacement for in-game. So definitely some things that you kind of go in and work into your play style. Going into one of the newer sections as well, the optics section, I have it all for red dots. Not a big fan of holographics, not a big fan of tac scopes or 3 or 4 times scopes, so y'all could go and really change this to your personal liking here. But yeah, for me personally, I only like red dots. I feel like red dots are the most accurate option for me, and I always can kind of rely on my shots whenever I go and have a red dot. So that is something that I would go and recommend to you guys. But yeah, wow, okay, I believe that's going to be it for all the settings here. Once again, if you guys found this helpful, that'd be awesome if you could go and give this video a like. I would love to know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. But my name is Parker. Hopefully you guys will have an awesome rest of your day today, and I guess I'll talk to you guys in the next video.